Hi, my name is Dave Roskoff, and I am a automation addict. Uh, Doing a series on how to automate, taking you from the idea that you're new to coding and you're new to automation, and hopefully bringing you up to speed. In my last example, we went through creating data objects and interacting with those objects in a task. I went ahead and for the drop-downs that we're using on norma.org, I've created data objects for gender, age, and ethnicity. Today, I'm going to go over the power of overriding methods. So if I go to my Mormon org, this is my test here. I have two test methods. One's finding a female biker, one's finding a male biker. And I have a search for that, which is taking in a gender, an age, and a keyword. And then here is a test down here that's taking a gender, an age, and a keyword. Now, what about ethnicity? What if I wanted to make this more um, acceptable for other types of to be able to just interact with that one module with this one line. Um, so let's do that. We're going to add an ethnicity. Set ethnicity, and since now we're not, I'm going to uncomment this old stuff since we're not using it anymore. Click search, set keywords, set ethnicity. Our next needs to make sure that we're taking in so if I just need to add a string ethnicity. And now I'm going to use my overriding methods to handle that. So in this one, I already have one overriding method. And it's going to pass in ethnicity non-selected and the value of that. So if I rerun this test, it should still work. Modifications that I did. So I'm going to go ahead and run it real quick, make sure it still runs. Looks like it passes just fine. Make sure to test my test explorer, and it passes fine. Okay, let's start making this more powerful. So let's do another method. It just says, you know what, I just want to search for a keyword, and I don't really care about setting the gender or the age. So then I'll do search. I'm going to pass in gender non-selected value, and then I'm going to pass in age not selected value, and I'm going to pass in ethnicity not selected value, and then I got my keyword. So now I can go ahead and create another method here. I can create another test. But this time, instead of finding male biker, I'm going to find Star Wars girl. And I am going to, well, actually I'm not even going to find a girl. So I'm just going to find Star Wars. And so now I'll close this. I'm going to see if anybody as star rewards in their profile. Okay? So now I'm going to run this test. This test is going to, again, do the same search, but this time instead of searching for a male or gender or age, it should just put in a value of the keyword. It does. It searches, brings up Joe, clicks on Joe, searches for star or wars, and if we look at our tests, we pass this. Yeah, it says pass here, but no, it's a different color there. Oh, Star Wars is on top. That's the one I just ran. There it is. Star Wars, 13 seconds. And vice versa, if you wanted to do them all, I can say I'm going to do gender, gender, age, age, ethnicity, ethnicity, and keyword. So then send that to gender dot value. Now the reason why this works, so what's this doing, is this is calling the one below it. And value is a string, and that's exactly what I'm passing through. And so here, if I click on this search here, it's going to take me to the search right below it. So this is calling this method. It's passing in gender.value, which is a string. It's passing age.value, which is a string. And ethnicity.value, which is a string. The difference here is for ethnicity. I'm not calling it. I'm going to call it this time. This is going to be our first full search test. So, would find someone. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and copy this here. So set up tests, go to people. This time I'm going to search for gender.female, age.1821, and ethnicity dot let's do Pacific Islander, and our keyword we're going to say is love. I'm going to verify the keywords down here. Let's run this test and see if it comes up with England. There you go. A person who loves to dance and loves to read and loves music. Cariza. My test passed. Now, what if, and then vice versa, my last overriding method I'll show you here. And again, you can just make as many combinations of this. And simplicity is, it doesn't take that long to add another combination in here. But let's say that instead of keyword, I just wanted to make one for gender. So we pass in gender, and again, now we go search. My first one is going to be gender. I'm going to pass in gender. That's right. The second one, I'm going to be age dot not selected dot value. And then the next one's going to be ethnicity dot not selected dot value. And the last one is going to be blank. So gender dot value. Here we go. And so this search is going to go ahead and call this one again down here, which is the main one that has all my methods and steps in. And now I can create one more test. Search for female. And on this one, how are we going to determine whether it is a girl? And that is a good question. This one's going to be difficult since there's nothing except for the image and maybe the name that might pick female gender. Curiosity, when I spy on the page. I'm going to search for that. Form and for footer. Is that or female? It's not going to tell me that. So it's not going to tell me her sex. So this is where my test probably isn't going to do as well. Under at least on the checking part. So I'm going to take that line out. I can at least check it visually for proof of concept here. So I'm going to go ahead and run that test. Also going to correct my female. So there it goes people, selects female, click search, and brings up the females. And there you go. So that is how to use overriding methods and why they're so powerful. The great thing is that you can take something that has a lot of steps. So I usually like to use it for filling out forms. So I'll take a form, like an entire form that I'm going to fill out, and instead of going in and saying, set name to John, set first name, last name to Robertson, set age to male, I will actually just use a method, as I'm here for the search, that just sets the entire form for me, and then I'll use overriding methods in case I just want to get through the form. Let's say that I'm just looking to get to a specific profile that I know about. I'm just going to use my keyword to get to that specific profile. Or let's say that I'm just going to, or let's say that I'm actually testing the search property, in which case I might be passing in multiple genders and age and ethnicities and going through a bunch to make sure I'm getting the right profiles. The beautiful thing about overriding methods is it allows you to be as simple or as complex as you want it to be. And that completes my this episode. Again, I'm David Roscott, and I am an automation addict.